Antisocial Butterfly Podcast. We are here to inspire dreams and help you spread your wings to fly. Baby girl, it's okay to be shy. But now it's time to kiss fear goodbye.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Antisocial Butterfly Podcast. I am so excited that we have our guest on today. On previous episodes, I shared that I was super excited to get this guest on. She has so many passions. I love that this guest has so many passions that she dedicates time to. Not only is she an actress, but she's a singer, children's author, musician, and yoga therapist, just to name a few. Please help me welcome my guest today, Stefanie Jillian. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Antisocial Butterfly Podcast, your new favorite podcast. Here we are with our anticipated guest, Stefanie. So excited to have you on. As people know from previous episodes that I've shared, I was able to attend one of your shows. You have so many passions and I love it. Not just one, you are dedicated to several passions. Not only are you an actor, you're a singer, children's author, musician, yoga therapist, just to name a few. So Stefanie, let me just ask you right off the bat, out of all the passions that you have, if you could only do one of your passions that I listed for the rest of your life, I know it's a little hard, which one would you choose and why?
Well, as much as I've dedicated my career to yoga therapy, I'm almost done with my master's degree in it. I would honestly say I love yoga therapy, but music is way more fun. Way more fun. And I actually use it in yoga therapy, drumming and binaural beats and singing bowls and using my voice and helping other people use their voice. So I do use music in yoga therapy, but generally if I just had to pick something, like give me a microphone and I'll just make some music.
Okay, so yeah, singer, we gotta do some karaoke. Come on, I love singing and you like singing, so I don't know why we haven't done that, but I'm like, we gotta get that done. We're gonna make that happen. But you mentioned that you incorporate music, singing, your passions into another passion, yoga.
Right.
Love it, right? Like whatever you're invested in, can you invest more passions into that? And you've done that. That's awesome. Please share or tell me, because I'm not even aware, like how often do you have these classes? Can anybody just sign up?
Yes. So I mostly work online. I am based in Las Vegas, but most of my work has been online. And since the pandemic and everything, it's just kind of worked out a lot better in a way. I mean, we did have a lot of things shut down, and there's nothing to take away from the one-on-one interaction that people have. But I've been able to reach. Right now, I'm working specifically with mostly teens, but I do work with all populations. But my main job is working with teens in mental health care. And sometimes they haven't gone to a mental hospital yet. Sometimes they've been, and this is their step of recovery. But we're always preventing them from going back to a mental hospital or going there if they haven't been. So it's outpatient care, which means they're getting treatment from their home. And one of the aspects of my job is contemplative arts, creative arts, and yoga therapy falls into that. So we use music in that way. There's so much I could talk about, but
we're here for that. We're here. Yeah.
We'll stick with drumming and binaural beats for now. I use them in my therapy groups, and the really cool thing is binaural beats. So you've got headphones on.
Yes.
So if you were listening to these binaural beats, we would have a frequency being played in one ear and a different frequency being played in another ear. So if you're familiar with like singing bowls, each singing bowl is a frequency. Each of our chakras has a frequency. And every brain state that we have has a frequency. So sadness, joy, sleep, focus, they all have a brainwave, memory. And what scientists have been able to develop is we can manipulate that frequency with these auditory frequencies being played. So bi meaning two, binaural meaning two frequencies. A third frequency is then perceived in the brain. So if we wanted to get a state of sleep, so you wanted to sleep better, there's a frequency for that. And so you would listen to a track, and this is some of the therapies that I do. I help teens, maybe they're trying to not hurt themselves today. Maybe they're trying not to have a drink or take some drugs. And not just teens, but anyone. And also, I use it to help me focus when I'm trying to read. I'll put on a binaural beats for focus. So much. We've also helped people with dementia, improving their memory. When I do work with people with dementia, that's another population that I've worked with in the mental hospital and one-on-one. Would go to their homes and things like that. But another thing that I've noticed, and it's been studied as well, is playing music from a time when they had memory or really good memory or were younger, basically. They'll start tapping their feet. They'll start remembering the words to the song. So there is something in music that lives in our soul, no matter what's going on cognitively. Like there's a thread of music that's always there. So
wow. So I've always leaned towards music, and just the last guest that I had, I asked her a question of what she did to help her when she's feeling low, or help her to get her out of feeling negative and into a positive state, and is simply just listening to music. And here I was thinking it was just this something big, extravagant thing. I don't know why in my head I thought like she did something, so like, I don't know, physical activity, and you hear from time to time is obviously so great, and nothing takes away from that too. But really, just the simplicity of turning on music, whether you have it on your phone, whether you have it on Alexa, Google, YouTube. I mean, it's just at our fingertips. And the fact that now there's a science and studies behind not just it feels good to listen to music. There's a reason why it feels good.
Yeah, and then the next topic that I would love to talk about would be the healing rhythms of the drumming. So our heart is a beat. We have a drum right here in our chest. We can pat on the body and make a beat. Drumming is something that you might have witnessed when you came to Vagina Monologues. We had a really cool drum circle featuring women and talked about how drumming has been really supported by women throughout ancient times. So not only is it a healing modality, but it's also something that's been ingrained in feminism and feminine qualities and feminine energy. And when we talk about feminine energy, of course, we're not just talking about women. Men have feminine energy as well, and women have masculine energy. It's all connected, it's all related. This is a practice where if you log on to a session with me and we do a drum circle, it's fine if you don't have your own drum. It's fine if you do. You can listen and receive the drumming beats and receive the vibrations and the calming energy, or you can participate. And you can participate even if you don't have a drum. You can play with on your lap, on your body, which is also another calming technique called tapping that helps the nervous system as well. So the rhythms, not only do they help with depression, anxiety, nausea, pain.
What? Nausea? Hello, you're speaking to someone over here. Not pregnant on my end, but I'll tell you, since the pandemic, working from home, not having somebody to tap me on the shoulder and go to eat, go to lunch, take a break, that has messed up my digestive system, turning, certain age in my 30s now. It's crazy, like how sensitive now I am to certain smells. I don't know, like, what the heck is going on, right? Music speaks to me so much, and just the fact that there's a science, a reason to it.
And yeah, they've been doing drumming and healing using drumming for way longer than we've been studying music. This is an ancient tradition. Tribes, think about Native American tribes, African tribes, South American tribes. So many different cultures use drumming as a way to connect with each other. So that's another aspect of healing. When we feel isolated, due to COVID, due to mental health reasons, due to just maybe moving to a new city and not knowing anyone. That can take a toll on our health as well. So joining a drumming group is a wonderful way to feel good in so many different ways, by connecting with people, by lifting up your vibration. I'll tell you, the first time I went to a drum, we'll call it a drum circle, but that does have some sort of connotations. But we'll call it a drum circle, but sometimes I'll call them other things, just because if we're talking about a sober group, we want to work with sober groups. We want to make sure that it's everyone there's on the same page, and you're not going to be putting someone into a situation where there's more drugs or anything like that. Specific drumming groups for addiction recovery. And we also incorporate other philosophies of yoga to help with imbalances in our energy and other things that might be affecting why we feel like we need to take something from outside to fill ourselves. Because we already have everything within us that we need to feel whole and happy. We just need to remember that.
I love that. Say that again. Say it
We
again.
already have everything within us that we need to be whole and happy. We just need to remember that.
If you think about it, like, we go on our phones, everywhere is about do more, be better, and that is awesome. We need to have that voice somewhere in our minds, but sometimes that is the loudest voice. And we fall short. We feel that we're not enough, and we're always just chasing and chasing and chasing, and we're never just sitting calmly and observing all of just the joyness of where we are right now. And so the fact that you say that, remembering that although we don't have everything that we think that we need, the goals that we have, they're there. And we may think we may need somebody or something to get us there. We really have everything right now.
Yeah, we do. And we also tend to create problems in our minds that aren't there. We worry about things that may never even happen. We make up problems in our mind. We worry about stuff that might never even happen. And it's just remembering the gratitude of it all. What are we thankful for? What do we have? What's really important? It's life. It's being here. It's living, being grateful to be alive. We are so blessed and fortunate and lucky just to be here right now and connect with each other. And I know sometimes it might seem scary. The world might seem scary, and that's one way to look at it. It is, but we could also think about what we do have, and that's a more healthy way to look at it, because we are so very blessed, and we're fortunate enough to be here right now connecting. All of us are watching this. We're fortunate enough to be able to do that and to have the time. And when we can wake up, make a list of everything we're grateful for, that's the way to wake up.
Is that how you start your day?
I will be honest, I'm human, so not every day, and some days are harder than others, but I try to remember. It's helpful if you can have a spot, a quiet place, like you can call it a meditation spot or a notebook, a dream journal, going for a walk, anything you can do where you're alone in the morning, just for even 5 minutes, will help set the whole tone of your day.
5, my favorite number. You know, your perspective of life in general is goals that we should all hope to aspire to think slowly, little by little. It takes time, and like you said, you're human. You have days where you think just like anybody else who's having a bad day, but you know, you take that time for yourself, that extra at least 5 minutes in the morning just for you, whether it be in the morning or later in the day, but I feel, dedicate and ensure that you're mindful of taking time for yourself. And in your field of acting, I mean, that realm in itself, I feel that you have to be so confident. Your positive talk has to be full, right? Other than the things that you do, how do you get into that mindset of confidence and believing in yourself?
Not giving a crap what anybody thinks. and being totally comfortable with failure. I had an acting coach that would tell us to just go up on stage and have fun like a 2-year-old, play in the sandbox. And I will tell you that is the easiest way to get in touch with a character, to get in touch with the scene, the project, the other actors. You just go have fun. No expectations, not caring if you're gonna mess up a line. Again, not being afraid to fail. Failure is part of how we succeed. If we didn't have failed experiments, we wouldn't have amazing drugs that help. If we didn't have failed transportation methods, we wouldn't have amazing airplanes and ways to travel all over the world. So of course, you might mess up a line, and don't worry about it. Lines are even actually like the least important. The most important thing is connection, believing in what you're doing, connecting with that character, with the story, with the scene, the setting. You know, some people are afraid to touch things in a scene. Like, no, this is a chair. I'm gonna believe it's a chair. I'm living in this world. You embody the character that you are, that you're portraying. And a way to do that is through really, I would say, letting go of yourself. Stefanie doesn't exist right now. It's Harley, and Harley's had a long, hard life, but you know, Harley has her own wishes and her own interests and her own foods that she likes. I have nothing to do with Stefanie, you know. So, or Giggles, or whoever, whatever character I end up playing that day, like, they are their own unique character. So really just believing it. How would you react? Like, if somebody hits you in the face and that wasn't expected in the script, like, are you gonna be like, why would you do that? No, you're gonna react like, you know, move your head, like, feel it, react with it, like, just go with it and have fun. And that's how I live life.
That's what I was gonna just say. It's like your motto can be applied not just the way to be confident in acting, but just being confident in general in life, and just being at peace with any place, any conversation that you're in. Just have fun. Yeah. Be a kid. Don't take anything too serious. If you're anxious because you're going to go to a networking event, or you're just going to even go to the coffee shop that you always go to, and you're going to say hi to that, you know, person that you always see to every day, it's just be you. Don't like be perfect that you have to be in the conversation, that you just, you know, that's what happens to me. It's I go into conversation or go into a setting knowing, oh, I'm going to see this person and I have to say this, this, and this for them to still like me. And it's like, girl, why are you putting that pressure on yourself? Like, be free, be you, and that should be enough. You touched on almost like creating like another character for yourself. That reminded me that some celebrities that are in the media or that out there for criticism, they for able to do their stuff or perform, they actually give themselves like a name. What's that? Like an alter ego.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they kind of separate themselves, because if they were to put themselves in it, they're like, no, I can't do it, or, you know, who am I? But once they give themselves like this, you know, identity, it's like, here I am to show up.
Perfect segue. Marilyn Monroe used to walk down the street and no one would know it was her. Why? Because she said, I didn't turn Marilyn on. I didn't turn her on. Like, I didn't become that character. I wasn't Marilyn Monroe walking down the street. I was Norma Jean. So it's a conscious decision to turn on your power, your sexual power, your connection with other people, your confidence. You could easily blend in and just walk by. And that's what she did. I think that's amazing. Just, I didn't turn her on.
Wow.
But when she was on stage in front of the camera, in front of photographing cameras, like, she turned her on.
We were at a rooftop and our men were performing and got excited. I saw you and you gave me some awesome news that I'm like, what? I immediately like looked it up when I got home, and then everyone started talking about it. And of course, for those who are living under a rock, Kim Kardashian wore the all-famous Marilyn Monroe dress, right? No one had ever worn it before, and she wore it. I forget which event, the Met Gala.
It was the Met Gala, which, by the way, is a over-the-top production, but I do love fashion. So as much as I can say, I don't want to be shallow and I don't want to, have this image that I put out there. I do love fashion. I don't know, I love to sew. I love to make clothes. So there's some part of me that's always been into fashion. And even like historical fashion, all of that stuff fascinates me. So I was watching the highlights of the fashion show basically, and I mean this was brought up, and not only was it Marilyn Monroe's dress, it was the one she sang, "Happy birthday, Mr. President." Like
showing them skills off for those that say she can't sing. I did not know. So that was the dress she wore when she sang that song.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay. Because still that story is talked about till this very day, right? Like how she sang this song to the president, very sexy. But that was Marilyn, right? They knew what they were signing up when they when they got Marilyn to sing the song. So Kim Kardashian decides to wear it, and from what why were people like so, oh my gosh, can't believe she did it, or why were there so much news around this Marilyn Monroe dress with Kim Kardashian?
Well, a couple reasons. One of them, it was in a museum. Humidity control, climate control, preserved, very safe in the museum. What's going to happen when somebody touches it, when somebody wears it? Not to mention, now will be known as the dress that Kim Kardashian also wore to the Met Gala.
So it loses the Marilyn Monroe essence.
Yes.
Yeah, of just being her thing. Now it's a Marilyn Monroe and Kim Kardashian thing. And who knows if Marilyn Monroe would have wanted that, right?
Right. The article I just read, and they talked to the person who did the original sketch of the dress. So I would say pretty qualified on the dress, the history of the dress. They designed this dress. They were mortified that somebody else wore the dress. It should have been Marilyn's dress. It was designed for her. They took it out of a museum. I'm sure you've seen the pictures floating around. If you haven't, I wasn't there. So this is what supposedly happened. She wore a replica. So Kim Kardashian wore a replica of this dress to the bottom of the steps of the Met Gala. And basically the Met Gala, you walk up the steps and everybody takes your picture, asks you what you're wearing, you go inside, and then there's a whole other thing. So from the bottom of the steps and at the top of the steps, they had a changing tent for her. And that's where she wore the original dress. So she changed in the tent, wore it on the red carpet, and then put on a replica when she went back in. So maybe, I'm not sure like the timeline, maybe less, I would say less than an hour, probably. I'm not sure how long she wore this dress. But the pictures that I've seen show that they cut the dress or somehow expanded the dress to cover her bottom, and she wore a like fur coat covering the back so you couldn't see that. Now again, I wasn't there. I don't know if that could have been the replica or not, but everyone's reaction is saying that they cut the dress. I would have to probably do more research to find out if that was true or not.
You're our source right now, okay? So whatever you say is news right now. This is the source, right?
So going off. Maybe they cut it, maybe it ripped, maybe that was the replica dress. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, people are still mad that she wore the dress. She may or may not have damaged the dress. And she said she went on a really unhealthy crash diet to 16 pounds to fit into the dress. So what kind of message is that sending to all of the people who follow her and think that that's okay and that they can go on a crash diet? And you're not Kim Kardashian, so you don't have a entourage of people in case you faint or die or whatever. Like you need to eat.
At first when I heard it, I'm like, okay, I didn't take it for let's rip Kim Kardashian apart. I was more curious, like, how did she get hold of the dress, for one? who signed off that she could
It was the
wear the dress?
Smithsonian Museum.
So the museum gave it up.
No, not the Smithsonian. Okay, my bad. Ripley's. It was Ripley's, believe it or not. Maybe if the
Ripley's.
Smithsonian had it, they would have took better care of it. But it was Ripley's.
Okay, so maybe people should be mad at Ripley's.
Right.
Ripley's, believe it or not, for handing over the dress, because again, at the end of the day, she's going to get the heat of it because she's the one wearing the darn thing. But I would think that her team or even herself would say, okay, we're getting this iconic dress. Let me just check the boxes. Did we get the okay? Because, you know, everything now that you say or do, especially for them, it's like ripped apart and people can come at them legally. So I would think she's a pretty smart girl. Maybe people can argue with me that she's not, but whatever. That's where I'm like, how did she get a hold of this dress, right? And
I mean, she's got us talking about it.
Hey, we're here now, right? Like, I was shocked about it. And so people were talking about it. I mean, I saw it everywhere. I saw it on I would pull up any social platform. There were shorts about it. There was media outlets talking about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a big, big thing. So I'm like, okay, this is a big thing. Let me see it from both sides. I try to give both parties the benefit of the doubt. Where are both of them coming from? So you brought up the side of Marilyn Monroe's as far as their fans of if it got ripped up, if it got altered, you know, it's supposed to be a dress once it's in a museum, not touched. That's the whole point of having it be iconic and have it stand for what it stands. So this just leads me to think, like, are other dresses, not from Marilyn Monroe, but from other people?
It does set a precedent.
But what is your take on it? How do you feel on the matter? Should she have done it? What is your feel on it?
Well, I think it was a cheap stunt. The most gorgeous dress I saw there was a one-of-a-kind designed for Blake Lively, and it transformed. I mean, that was way more spectacular. That's the dress we should be talking about. Americana was the theme, so the history of America. The dress that she wore originally was like a copper color with all these metallic type pieces sewn into it. She was representing the Statue of Liberty. She gets up and then there's the big reveal and the dress unfolds and then her gloves transform and it becomes the green color once the copper has oxidized and the Statue of Liberty is now green. So the dress transformed. I mean, it was beautiful. That was a huge work of art. And sadly, you know, this cheap publicity stunt that, you know, overshadowed all the amazing talent that people put into work on this specific event. So yeah, I do think it was cheap. But that's part of their nature as well. You know, it's reality TV. It's cheap.
Right. Well, that's how they ultimately got to their quote unquote fame, right? Was doing crazy stories that ultimately led them to where they are, where it's just stories that people are worth, you know, they want to talk about. Like, she did what, they did this. It's just like crazy. What the heck is my roofer going on? I hear like this thumping going on, but yeah, the whole Marilyn Monroe thing, I'm a fan of hers because just her beauty, her essence, confident woman, even though, you know, we're learning from documentaries that she had a really depressing, sad life, right? But ultimately,
that's a huge side effect of being a sex symbol. We see that with Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus, you know, so many young women. Now, what happens once you grow up or once you want to be taken more seriously, or the pressures of not being perfect all the time, because nobody's perfect all the time. And our bodies are made to move and be strong and do things and not just how they look. The thing that I think you bring up is, yeah, Marilyn was known for her sexuality, but she wanted to be known for her intelligence. She wanted to be known and taken seriously as an actress, as an actor. And when we put a dress like that on Kim Kardashian, who's almost embodying the opposite of Marilyn Monroe's wishes and essence and how she wanted to be viewed, then is that just reinforcing what Marilyn Monroe was against?
Whoa. Deep. Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people have that same thought as you. And now that it's done, it's like, okay, now look what you caused, possibly, right? And it's now on top of that, the whole image of trying to go on this crash diet to lose the weight just adds another layer to that didn't help. It didn't help. That didn't help the situation at all. And yes, you know, I suffer from anorexia, and till this very day, it still plays with my mind. Like, so mental health, I can just imagine it being ever still the same in this generation and future generations to come. And it is unfortunate that the forefronters or the people who have the most influence, right, is they look not how everyone looks like. And because that's all that we see, or that we think that we see.
I'm obsessed with before and after plastic surgery pictures. They don't even look like that. Like they do not even look like that. And that's the thing, is money can make you look like that.
Yeah. And like ultimately, like you get something done and it's like you have another body part, right? It's like you have to do all the body parts. And it's like, when is it going to stop? And, you know, ultimately for me, it's just being happy, accepting with what you're given, who you are. And like what you said, you have everything that you need right inside to be your happiest, to be your most successful, just to be at peace and live the life that you want to live. But we always are chasing for something else because we see somebody else looking some type of way or having some type of item. And now that causes a narrative that we need to be like them.
It's a sign of insecurity almost, when we have to feel like we're perfect, look perfect, be perfect, say the perfect thing. Why? I do ask my teens that I work with, I'll say, how connected is the relationship between how you feel about yourself and how you look? And a lot of times they don't even understand the question because they're so like, without how you look, how does that's who I am, is how I look. And it's the total opposite. Like you could be a blob, you could be a ball of energy right here floating around and you're still you, you know, before you have a body or whatever. Like you're still you. Your body is not you. And it's important to remember that. I am more than my body. I'm more than my thoughts, feelings, and emotions and actions. I am love. I am unchanging awareness. I am truth and forgiveness and compassion and connection and loyalty and friendship. And those are my qualities that I can trade with other people, even if I had no money.
That priceless value that you can give to yourself and to others that really money can't buy. And it's sad that unfortunately we live in a time that our young kids and us as well, right? We're on social media, we all we see is the physical, right? And I think that's why maybe with shorts or videos, it's caused a little bit of people to stray away from perfectionism and just being you on camera. I'm very hopeful that people like you out there with our young minds slowly might change the curve. And it just starts with a few people thinking the same way. And when you speak, I mean, it always causes something inside of me, like very good, a good thing, a positive thing, and a vibration, you can call it. But I can truly say that what you are devoting your time and energy to is truly what you're meant to do. Truly have a gift for this. I mean, I'm going to hear back this podcast, just all the positive affirmations and notes that you gave. I mean, it's just so uplifting. From day one, I just felt this open arms acceptance from you of no judgment, love, and this is who I am too, right? You were not trying to be somebody you're not. And I think I saw that. And of course, I'm intrigued with confident women. I label you that as so. And for me, just confidence is just being comfortable in their own skin and not giving an F, right,
Yeah.
of what anybody else around them thinks. And just having whatever that is to you, that aura, that energy, girl, you manifest it, like it transcends to people. So please tell me, and everyone watching, other than maybe finding you in a therapy group session, can they reach out to you for a group session or on like a one-on-one?
Yes, I would direct you to go to LV for Las Vegas, lvyogatherapy.com. That's me, lvyogatherapy.com. I have online classes. You can book one-on-one. We can work on maybe it's a physical injury, maybe it's a mental injury, maybe it's trauma, and develop a session where we have like a curriculum to follow, like let's say 5 weeks, and you have a goal, and maybe you have trust issues. Okay, so we're going to work on how to trust ourselves and how to move our body, how to move the breath, the mind, all of it is connected, and work on the focus of trust. Let's say you have arthritis. We can work on arthritis. Let's say you just haven't moved your body in 20 years and you've worked in an office and you're just ready to feel better. We will do yoga. We will move the body very, very slowly, gently. And even after one session, every single time I tell people, they tell me that they feel better just after one session. So 45 minutes with me and we'll see, you could change your life. So you just come as you are. There's no expectations. You do what you can. And that's how I teach the class. And if you're looking to do headstands, if you're looking to do anything else, you go find another studio. We are focused on not how it looks. We're focused on feeling better.
Amen. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Also, I wanted to just say you are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing, because that's a quote that I always have in mind and that I tell myself every day. Keep doing your passion and find your purpose. You have found your purpose. Thank you, Stephanie, so much for being here. Make sure you find Stephanie. Thank you, everyone. Take care, and we'll catch you on the next episode.